Is your car stalling at stoplights or refusing to start because the brain of the vehicle is getting too hot to think straight? When you see the diagnostic trouble code P06AC, it means the internal temperature sensor designated as B inside one of your control modules has hit a range or performance problem. This is a generic code that can affect many vehicles like a Mazda or a Honda or even a Dodge, and it involves the powertrain control module, the engine control module, or the transmission control module. These modules have internal sensors to monitor how hot the electronics are getting because excessive heat can fry the delicate circuits that run your car. On some newer vehicles, these three modules are all built into one single unit that acts as the primary brain. When this internal sensor sends a signal that is outside the normal expected range, the computer triggers this code and turns on your check engine light or a transmission warning lamp. The symptoms can be very frustrating because your car might run perfectly 1 minute and then stall or refuse to start the next. You might even notice the transmission shifting poorly or getting stuck in gears. The severity of this code is quite high because a module that cannot monitor its own temperature can lead to a total vehicle breakdown. The most common causes are a loose or defective ground strap, which is just a wire that connects the module to the frame, or corrosion inside the electrical connectors. Sometimes the internal sensor itself has failed, or the entire module is damaged. To start troubleshooting, you should look for any technical service bulletins for your year and model to see if there is a known fix. You must perform a thorough visual inspection of all the wiring and ground straps, looking for any spots that are rubbed raw or look burnt. Check the connectors for green corrosion or bent pins and make sure they are seated tightly. You will need a digital multimeter to check for a reference voltage, which is usually around 9 volts depending on your vehicle. You should also do a continuity test from the control modules to the frame to make sure the ground is solid with 0 ohms of resistance. If there is any resistance at all, it means you have a bad connection that needs to be cleaned or replaced. Be very careful not to replace the entire computer by mistake when the real problem is just a dirty ground wire or a loose plug. If you have checked all the wiring and the grounds but the code keeps coming back, you will likely need a professional to flash the computer software or replace the module entirely, since these parts often require specialized programming to work with your specific car.